Hey guys, in this video, I'm gonna be going over and explaining how to set proper goals and actually being able to achieve them. Most of you guys are probably setting pipeline dreams and saying that you want to achieve something, but you really have no process and structure on how to do that. So in this video, make sure you watch to the end because I'm gonna show you exactly how to set proper goals, what to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to actually achieve the outcome that you say you want. I think most people set goals and they never actually achieve them. You'll see this every New Year's resolution, right? Every holiday, you set the New Year's thing, I'm gonna get in shape, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. And so if there's no meaning or no purpose, it's gonna be very difficult for you to achieve anything in your life. That's why most people are floating around, going everywhere and nowhere, because they're really not clear on what the outcome is that they want. So for me, everything that I'm doing long-term or short-term is, why do I actually want to achieve it? What is the reason why I want to obtain this goal? And once I have that emotion attached to it and the why behind it, then you're gonna put in action things that you're gonna do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that align with the goal that you say you actually want to achieve. So I think most people maybe say they want something, and again, there's no purpose, no meaning behind it, or they really don't understand what they need to do to actually achieve it. And it's more about the process, the system that you need to put in place in order to achieve it. This is why most people fail with that. If you've got smaller goals, maybe it's not tied to the bigger picture, but they're things that you want to accomplish. There's always a reason why you want to accomplish something, but maybe it's not a deep purpose. Maybe there's not a deep why. There's two reasons why. One is there's no purpose tied to it, so there's not enough meaning behind the thing that you say you want. And number two is, if you even know what it is that you want, you don't really understand systems and how to put things in place that you must do on a regular basis in order to achieve it, right? Because we all say we want to do this, and let's just relate it to getting in shape, but we're not doing the things on a daily basis to actually get in shape, which is why we never get in shape. And the same thing with your business or in a relationship. So going back to what I'm thinking, like it's purpose, man. If you have purpose in the thing you want to do, you'll figure out how to do it. Most people set too many goals. And so that's why I'm like, there's 5 areas in your life, at least for me, that I focus on, and it's my fitness, it's my mindset, it's my relationships and my marriage, it's my income, and it's my faith. And those are the 5 buckets. You can't have 10 big goals that you're trying to accomplish in each bucket because it becomes overwhelming. You know, now you've got 50 things to work on. When people set too many goals, this is how they fall off track quickly because it becomes overwhelming. And then it's like, oh, well, I missed last week, and next thing you know, that New Year's resolution is gone because maybe you had too many things you were actually trying to accomplish. And that's why for me, it's about, if you can narrow it down to 2 things per bucket, that's 10 total goals. And then even if you can dial it into 1 thing, and maybe in some of your buckets, there's 1 thing that you're focusing on, maybe in some of them there's 2, but what is the most important thing if you just did the 1 thing that would move the needle the most in that bucket is what I'm gonna focus on. And then it's not overwhelming, it's very clear, we've got 1 thing that we're focusing on, and then we just go all in on that until it's achieved, and then we go to the next. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this video, but I cannot stress this enough. If you're tired of staying the same and you're ready to change your life forever, I want you to do 1 thing right now. Text the number below. When you text me, I'll reach out to you personally and I'll show you exactly how to build the man that you're meant to be. It's time to take action now. Text the number below and I'll personally reach out within 24 hours. Now let's get back to the video. So I think most people, and I'm guilty of this in the past, is I would set too many goals. 6 months, 12 months later, you realize you didn't really do anything. You just touched a bunch of things, but nothing really in your life moved forward. And so that's why I tell everybody, slim it down. Pick 1 thing. If you just did 1 thing all year, what would it be? What would move the needle the most in your life? And focus on that. So it can't just be, I want to get in better shape, because that's too broad, right? What does that mean, get in better shape? And so you need to be very specific on the goal. So that's an example in fitness. In business, it could be you want to grow your revenue by $5 million annually. It could be that you want to make, 12% profit or whatever that number is, but having a specific metric that you can track the goal to is how you know if you're going to win or lose. If you want a better relationship, for example, part of what Al and I do is we have date night every week, or we have our marriage meeting. Well, if you want to get a better marriage, okay, well then you need to make sure that you're going on date nights. You structure that, whether that's every week, 2 weeks, whatever that is for you. I would recommend every week. That's what we do. I know if I do that every week, it's going to get me closer to having a better relationship with Allie. If I don't do that, then I can't expect to have the best relationship. And then finance is the same way. You want to be financially free, for example, or you want to make a certain amount of money on your investments. Well, you gotta take part of your check every week and set that up automatically where it's going into an investment account, for example. And so really it's creating systems and routines and habits around the task that align with the goal that you actually want to achieve. Everything in my life is about system and a process. In my personal life, my business, it's all the same. This is why I get massive results. The people that are actually achieving it and winning in every area of life, they know exactly where they're going. They know exactly what they need to do on a daily daily basis in order to achieve that. And that's why you got to be very intentional about how you spend your time. If you say you got goals and you want to achieve things, then you got to cut out everything that's a distraction. Everything that doesn't align with the things that you need to be doing, you need to cut out of your life. Most people just won't do this. They won't make the hard decision to do that. Why? Because they really don't want the goal. They really don't want it bad enough. They would rather watch TV. They would rather go to a game or go out on the weekends and drink beer with your buddies. Like, well, then that's the life you're choosing. That's why you're not becoming the best version of yourself. You're not being intentional with your time. Well, if you don't have systems or any kind of routine in place, like most people just kind of wake up, they get on their phone. They don't really have a plan other than they're going to their job. That's it, right? Most people are just getting up, fighting in the mornings, not spending time with themselves, going straight to work, and not focusing on the things that actually matter in their life. You're not going to reach the outcomes that you want. You will reach an outcome, but is it the one that you actually wanted? If you look back and look at your life over the last 12 months and ask yourself, are you in a different position than you were 12 months ago, in a better position? Are you where you thought you were going to be? Did you actually have a plan on where you're going to be in 12 months? And are you looking back and saying, oh, I accomplished this? Or are you coming up short? Or are you the type of person that sets a goal and then forgets about it and wonders why it doesn't happen? People that are in shape, they're structured. People that have a fat bank account, they're structured. People that have a marriage that's on fire, they're structured. People that have their faith in line, they're structured. There's certain things that you do every day, every week that aligns with that. That's why you're in the top 1% in those buckets. I mean, there's all 5 buckets. You're hitting them in life regardless of whether you're focusing on it or not, right? We're all hitting health and fitness. We're all hitting the 5 areas. And there could be seasons of life to where you're going to spend more time on one bucket. For example, maybe your finances are in order, but your health is not in order, which is usually the case, right? Then maybe you're going to spend a little bit more time in the health and fitness bucket, because without that, the money you have doesn't matter. But it's okay for now, so you can focus over here. So I do think that there's times and there's periods of life where you're going to focus more on one bucket. Maybe your relationship is struggling because you're working too much. Well, now you need to shift that and work on your relationship and get that in order and then go to another bucket. But you're hitting every bucket every day, whether you think you are or you're not, right? You're either neglecting your health or you're not. Does that make sense? But I think there's times where we are focusing on certain things more than others. Sometimes you may be more focused on faith than you are something else. But the point is you should be touching something in those buckets every single day if you want to be great in all the buckets. There's 2 hard ones for me. One is faith and one's relationships. Relationships are tough because I didn't see it growing up. So I have to be very intentional and very aware that there's things that I need to do and there's things that I don't need to do, right? So relationships is a challenge. It is for most people, but being very aware and intentional about that and having more structure around relationships is what helps me stay on track with that, because it's not natural for me. See, staying in shape for me is very easy. Like, I don't have to try to stay in shape. It's truly my identity. I don't have to try for that. It just happens automatically. And that's why if you look at that as the fitness bucket for me, that just happens for me. I don't need you to tell me to go work out or eat clean or any of those things. It just happens. So I can focus more on this bucket over here because I've got this one super dialed in. Does that make sense? That's why I'm saying, like, everybody's different. Now, if you got all 5 buckets and they're all in bad shape, which happens a lot, then you need a total reset, which is why you need to be in my Build the Man program, by the way. This is what we do. Well, Building the Man, our program is about becoming the absolute best version of yourself, which is what I teach in the 5 buckets, right? And so we're doing things to help you get in better shape, get an unbreakable mindset, have a marriage that's on fire, get a stronger faith, make sure your finances are in order, you're making the proper investments, you're actually doing things that you say you want to do, which is what we uncover in the program. Is like, what are the things that you're trying to accomplish? We take them through a process to where they're identifying different goals in the different buckets, and then we figure out, well, what action steps do we need to put in place in order to get that goal? And so if we do that across 5 buckets and we only have 1 to 2 tasks per bucket, it becomes realistic for us to do a total reset in 6 short weeks. You know, a lot of times if I ask you, do you want to be in the best shape of your life? People are going to say yes. If I want to say, do you want to have the best relationship with your wife? If I say, do you want to be financially free and not have to worry about finances? Everybody's going to say yes, right? Using these 3, for example. But if I look at what you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and I look at the structure, the systems, the habits, the routines that you do, and they don't align with being in shape, they don't align with having a great marriage, and they don't align with being financially free. Because you're not doing anything that financially people do. You're not doing the things that a Marriage is on Fire is doing. You're not doing what someone's in elite shape is doing. So what you say you want and the values, by the way, is everything that you do every day. If you say you want to be in shape, but you're eating cheeseburgers and pizza and you're going out and you're doing all the things that someone fit does not do, then you don't really value being in shape. What you value is eating bad food and being around people that influence you to be that way, right? Because we truly are what we value. Everything in your life right now, you've attracted, and it is who you are, and it is what you value. So you can't say that you value a healthy marriage if you're not spending intentional time making sure that your marriage is on fire. You cannot say that you want to be financially free, and yet you invest no money out of your paycheck every single week. Those two things do not align. So you're saying you want one thing, you're doing another. So take a look and do an audit of yourself and figure out and write down everything you're doing in your life in those 5 buckets. And then write down everything you want in life in those 5 buckets and see if they match. Chances are they won't match. Maybe you've got one bucket that matches, but most of people, it doesn't align. So then it's like, well, how do I shift that? Well, you need to reevaluate what you say you actually want, and are you willing to make hard decisions and stop doing the things that don't align with the thing that you want? This is why people don't accomplish their goals. Well, if you have values that don't align with who you say you are, then you got to make a decision to make some changes. And how does that start? Well, you got to start doing some different things. You know, you got to stop doing things that you're currently doing. First, you got to identify, what are they? What do I need to be doing? And what do I need to stop doing? And then you're going to need structure. This is where structure comes in. So important. What do you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? That aligns with the new person that you say you want to become. And it takes discipline, right? You got to have discipline. You got to want it. This is where purpose comes in. When you have purpose and real meaning behind the thing that you're doing, it's still going to be hard, but when it's hard and there's a reason why you're doing it, you'll keep doing it. The reason people don't reach a goal when there's no meaning behind it is when it gets tough, they quit. Why? Because there's no meaning behind it. They don't really want it. They just say they want it. They're not willing to do the work though. I'll go back to fitness, right? Because that was 15 years ago when I really caught on and I started, getting in shape. Was when I got called out and someone said, hey, I was getting a little chubby or whatever. I started to think about, it's like, well, this is not what I want to be. I don't want to be someone calls out because you're a little chubby. Like, I didn't want to be that guy. So I immediately became obsessed with health and fitness and changed it, right? I found a coach, a mentor to study with, and I changed, right? Really quick. It's like, oh, okay, now I have meaning to it. I know what I want. I know what I don't want, more importantly. And so I started to figure out, what are the things that I need to do to look like this guy, right? So I found the guy, put a picture on the wall, and then figured out, what does this guy do? And I started doing everything that he was doing. Everything he told me to do, I did it, and I stopped doing everything else, which was eating fast food and drinking sweet tea, right? So if, like, people would say, I would never do that. I used to do it. Every day I would have fast food. I didn't really understand. I wasn't educated on health and fitness. Growing up as a kid, we kind of ate to survive. Like, there was no health conscious, like, you need to eat this or that. Like, I didn't know. So although I wanted to be in shape, I didn't really know what I needed to do to get in shape. This is when I went and found someone. Once I did that, he said, you got to do these things. You got to get up and walk in the morning. You got to go to the gym 4 days a week. You got to eat clean food. You got to drink your water. You got to get your sleep. Well, then I started to do that immediately. And so I became this person over time, which is what you see today. It is my identity. I do not think about anything when it comes to taking care of my body, eating clean food, and everyone that knows me knows that. There's no thinking with that for me. I've been doing it so long, it's became who I am. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt this video, but I cannot stress this enough. If you're tired of staying the same and you're ready to change your life forever, I want you to do one thing right now. Text the number below. When you text me, I'll reach out to you personally and I'll show you exactly how to build the man that you're meant to be. It's time to take action now. Text the number below and I'll personally reach out within 24 hours. Now let's get back to the video. To be honest, most of you guys watching this video, you're not going to do anything differently, but that's why you'll never get the life that I have. If you want to be in the top 1% and you truly take your life seriously, how much time are you spending on designing your life? Most people spend more time designing a vacation than they do setting goals. Most people never even set goals. Or if they do, they never put down, well, what do I got to do to get to them? And they don't stick to it. So when you actually get clear on what it is you want out of life and you make a plan and you get your family aligned with this, the fulfillment you get from that alone is like, takes you to another level. Because now I know what I'm doing every day when I wake up. I know what I'm going to do the next day when I go to bed at night. I'm so clear and aligned on the things that I want to accomplish for me and my family that keeping your word, keeping your commitment to yourself and to your family, this is what kind of elevates you to the next level. And you keep just rising to the top. I mean, this is what I've been doing for years. And it's because I'm very focused and very intentional on how I spend my time and what I'm doing. I'm not everywhere and nowhere. I know exactly what I'm doing. My life is very basic. I do the same things every day. And this is why I'm able to do the things I'm doing, because I have structure. I have systems for my life. When we came up Build the Man program, honestly, it's because I have all these voids in my life in my earlier childhood, right? So I didn't see what a good marriage was. We didn't have any money. No one in my family was in shape. Most of them are out of shape now. The faith was hit or miss. That wasn't a focus. I didn't see any of this. And then as the journey that I've been on the past 30 years and the things that I've learned have just made me want to really help other men, because I see it being such a struggle. I mean, 9 out of 10 people I talk to are going through a divorce in their 40s. 9 out of 10 people are not in the health shape, fitness shape that they want to be in. 9 out of 10 people do not have the financial success that they want. They just don't. And so I see a big gap here, and I know that I've been able to overcome this in my life, really by self-developing and get around mentors, is how I've gained the information that I have now, and I've implemented in my life, and I know it works because I'm here. I'm doing exactly what I want to do, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it, and who I want to do it with. Well, that just doesn't happen, guys. My life is by design at this point. I'm 50 years old. It took me a long time to get here, but I can promise you, if I lost it all tomorrow, I'd have it back in 2 years. I'd have everything back. Why? Because I have the knowledge now and the skill set and the mindset to actually implement things. And so this is why, again, getting around other people that have been there and done that, if you vibe with them, is so critical, because it would just elevate you so much faster in your life if you just get close with these people. So this is why we built Build the Man program, because I didn't have it growing up. I know if I can do it, then I can show you to do it, and your life can change massively, because I've experienced it and I came from nothing. Hey guys, like this video if you found it valuable, and if there's anything that you want to learn more about, put it in the comments. Also, we're going to put a number below that you can text if you want to learn more about my Build the Man program and how I can potentially help you get to the next level. I'd love to do that. So subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video.